Do you struggle with self-doubt, maybe second-guessing yourself, or overthinking with even small everyday decisions? If so, this episode is for you. Today, I'll share why self-trust doesn't automatically come with success, why your inner critic keeps showing up, and the first simple step you can take to start trusting yourself and take the next step with confidence. Come on in. It's time to choose your happy life. Wherever you are, whatever kind of day you're having, this is your reminder. You have a choice. If you're ready to break free from self-doubt and negative thinking, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Marie, and this is the Choose Happy with Marie podcast. Welcome. Hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well and feeling the fresh energy of spring. I'm doing well and I'm really looking forward to spring. It's been a long winter where I live, and I hear from many of you that it's been a long season for you too. It's early April when this episode comes out. And today's journaling prompt from the monthly resource that I share with women that I coach is the following. What habit is running on autopilot, and what could I do differently today? It got me thinking, how often do we go through our days reacting automatically, repeating the same patterns and questioning ourselves without even noticing it? Maybe it's hesitating before making a decision, or we're replaying a conversation, or we're wondering if we chose the right option yet again and again. For so many women that I talk to, I hear you. You're high functioning. You're capable. Like all of us who are here on the show, like listening to the show right now, you look like you have it all together on the outside. Maybe you have the nice hair and the makeup and the jewelry maybe, but inside, your mind keeps circling. You're still second guessing yourself. Even though you know you are capable, you continue to overthink decisions and you wonder why you can't trust your own instincts. As we just reflected on today's journal prompt that I provide to my coaching clients, what habits are running on autopilot? It's easy to see how self-doubt shows up automatically. And I want you to know that self-doubt, it isn't a flaw. It's actually a pattern. The more we question ourselves, the more our brain defaults to, maybe I can't trust my decisions. And this pattern shows up even if we're highly successful in our career or we have good relationships or life in general. Many of us assume that if we just work harder, read more books, or just push ourselves, just to be a little bit better, self-trust will magically appear. But that's not how it works. I'll tell you how it works. Self-trust is built from the inside, not from checking boxes or achievements. Although, if you've been with me for a while, you know I really like checking boxes on my to-do list. Just the other day, I noticed myself. I was hesitating while I was planning my week because I do use an agenda and I do a daily planner. Again, I like those boxes to check mark when I've accomplished something. And maybe this happens to you too. I hesitate when I put a task down. Like, not that I can do the tasks that, you must do. You have to attend that appointment. You must complete that task. But what about those other tasks that you want to do in the day and you don't get around to doing them? And you're like, oh, maybe if I have the time, I'll write it out, or maybe I won't, but you don't commit to it. Well, those tasks really matter because you want to do them. There's something nudged inside of you that makes you want to do them. So I've been leaning into adding those tasks and fulfilling them, check marking them. Because what I want matters, and I want you to look at your planner that way as well. The planner doesn't only need to have tasks that must be done, especially those that must be done for others. It really matters that you have tasks there that matter to you. And another thing I started doing is I started my planner in pencil, using pencil and not pen. And the reason I changed that up is because when I was using a pen and then something wouldn't happen, life happens, I've had to pivot, change the task, I'd strike it out. And for me, the act of striking it out made me feel negative about it, made me feel like, I thought this out, I put it on my list, and then I couldn't follow through on it. So now I use a pencil, and I recognize that life happens all day long. Life happens, and things can change, and I can erase and just write something over it so that strike through doesn't need to happen. I want you to see how those moments of negativity, they bring out something called the inner critic. Our inner critic is that little voice in our head that questions our choices, points out what we should have done differently, or tells us that we're not doing enough. It can show up as second-guessing ourselves, replaying conversations in our head that happened, or even hesitating before making a decision. Here's the important thing that I want you to realize. Your inner critic is not your enemy. It's simply pointing out areas where you don't fully trust yourself yet. And that's okay. It's very human, and it's common for us high-functioning women who look good on the outside, like we have it all together, to experience this. The first step isn't to fight it or fix it. The first step is awareness. When we notice our inner critic and we pause, we name what it's saying, and we observe it without judgment. That awareness opens the door to choice. You can begin making decisions from your own internal guidance, rather than reacting automatically to old patterns. And every time you do this, even in small everyday moments, you're practicing self-trust and strengthening your internal authority. Let's try this together for a moment. If you're in a place where you can do this, if you can't, you can always re-listen to the episode at a later time. Think of a recent time your inner critic showed up. Maybe you hesitated on something that you wanted to do. You overthought a choice. You made a choice, but you are overthinking it, wondering if you did the right choice. Or you replayed a conversation in your head over and over again. The first step is pausing and noticing. What is the thought saying? Name it quietly in your mind, without judgment. For example, you might notice yourself saying, I'm worrying I'll make the wrong choice. Or you might be saying, I shouldn't have said that. Simply noticing it is enough as the first step. And I'll tell you why this matters. The reason the inner critic often takes the lead in our life is that our brains are wired to keep us safe. When we doubt ourselves, it's often because past experiences, whether it be messages we've heard from others, our upbringing, or high expectations we've placed on ourselves, or previous mistakes, they've trained our mind to question our decisions automatically. Your inner critic shows up kind of as a default safety system, trying to prevent you from making a misstep. So it's actually trying to protect you, take care of you. I'll mention another example. Just the other day, again, while I was planning my week, I was hesitating over my to-do list. I was wondering if I'd scheduled too much for that day. Am I making the right choices? Because I have so much that I have to do in a day. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, I now use a pencil instead of a pen because erasing just feels more positive than striking a word out. And then I feel negative about it. So when I erase it, I just don't see what that previous word was. Even with that, my inner critic would chime in. It would say, "Are you sure you're doing this right?" By simply noticing it without judgment, I could pause, I could acknowledge it, and I could choose my next step calmly and intentionally. And that's how we build our happy life. It's through those intentional choices. That small pause makes all the difference. As I mentioned, the first step isn't to fight it, it's to become aware of it. When you pause and observe, you're taking your very first step towards self-trust. Your inner critic isn't the enemy. It's just simply pointing out areas where you haven't fully trusted yourself yet. And the word here is yet. Awareness is your doorway to choosing your happy life. Every time you notice these patterns happening, and it does happen in small everyday moments, it's not these big things, it's in everyday living, you'll practice self-trust and you'll strengthen your inner authority. The more you observe it without judgment, the more space you create to choose differently, based on what you really want for your life, not what old doubts or fears are telling you. So here's the thing. As I mentioned earlier, noticing your inner critic is powerful, but it's not always enough to shift the pattern. Our brains are wired to repeat old habits, especially when emotions are high or our life gets busy, and many of us live very busy lives. Even when you know what you want to do, the inner critic can pull you back, replay the doubts, and make you question yourself all over again. That's exactly why I am so excited to offer you something special. It's the very first online workshop that I'm hosting for our community, and I am so excited to launch it. It is called How to Quiet Your Inner Critic, and it's happening on Saturday, April 18 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time online. This will be a small supportive group where you'll practice one tool to quiet the noise, build trust in yourself, and you'll take one aligned step forward in this workshop. It is a hands-on workshop. You won't be doing it alone. You'll have the energy of the group, and the encouragement you receive will make it easier to step past those old patterns and finally take action on one thing that really matters to you. There's something so powerful about coming together with like-minded women who are ready to move past self-doubt. You'll feel the momentum, the support, and the confidence that comes from practicing in real time. This is the first time I'm offering the workshop, and the group is intentionally small. That means more personal guidance, more support, and space for you to fully practice the tool. If this feels like the space you need to finally feel confident in your decisions and step forward with energy and clarity, you'll find all the details in the show notes. There's a link to it to go to a page to give you the details. I can't wait to see this first group experience in action. And I want to see you leaving feeling empowered, maybe even a little surprised at what's possible in just one session of choosing happy. Before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this. Trusting yourself doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It starts with noticing when you're questioning yourself and gently beginning to shift that pattern. Every time you pause, observe, and make a choice from your own guidance, you're strengthening your self-trust. One small decision at a time. Even small steps count, and they add up faster than you think. As Louise Hay beautifully said, I trust the process of life. Today, you can start practicing that trust with yourself. And remember, it's not about doing it perfectly. We're not here for perfection. Remember that. It's about showing up for yourself, noticing your patterns, and taking small, aligned steps forward. If you're on my email list, watch for the link to sign up for the workshop this week. And if you're not on my email list, you can join at choosehappywithmarie.com. A link to the workshop is in the show notes of this episode. Wishing you a wonderful week choosing happy. Cheers! Thanks for listening to Choose Happy with Marie. If today's episode spoke to you, I would love it if you could share it with a friend or leave a quick review for the show. It helps more women find this kind of support. Remember, you don't have to overhaul your life to start feeling better. You just have to choose happy right where you are, one choose happy choice at a time. I'll see you next time. Take care.